Guys, 2024 could be a very successful year for the entire cryptocurrency market, and altcoins in particular. Crypto continues to grow and show its readiness to fly to the moon. So I decided to compare two very promising projects and find out which one can bring more profit. Let's find out which coin will make you a millionaire in 2024. I would like to start with the technology because it is safe to say that both projects have a great foundation. So let me remind you about Kaspa and SEI so you can draw conclusions and determine who takes the point in this category. But first, I would like to ask you to subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss any interesting videos about cryptocurrencies. By the way, both projects are still quite young. The current market is the first bull cycle in their history. Therefore, their future will be based on how well they perform now. I would like to start with Kaspa. Kaspa is the first L1 block DAG built on proof-of-work technology. This is quite interesting because one of the ideas of the Kaspa team is to preserve the original Bitcoin blockchain technology developed by the father of cryptocurrency, Satoshi Nakamoto. So what makes Kaspa unique? Their advantage is that they have created the fastest and most reliable project based on proof of work. And the main goal of Kaspa is to solve the perennial trilemma of modern blockchains: security, scalability, and decentralization. The Kaspa team clearly understands the problems of all blockchains. With its BlockDAG technology, Kaspa solves all these problems and provides an excellent level of speed, security, and decentralization. Currently, Kaspa is ranked 7th among all proof-of-work cryptocurrencies, surpassing Zcash, Dash, and other once very popular blockchains in terms of overall statistics. I believe that Kaspa has every chance to become a leader among all proof-of-work projects because it has implemented it much better than any other project of this type. High speed, reliability, security, and low fees are the main advantages of Kaspa. Everything is clear with Kaspa, so let's move on to SEI. This is also a fairly young project, even newer than Kaspa. So right now, SEI is taking its first steps towards the big game and doing it quite well. SEI is an L1 blockchain built on parallelism technology. According to the SEI team, it is the fastest blockchain in the world. According to their claimed technical indicators, the blockchain is faster than Solana. In fact, these are very ambitious claims. And although they are not entirely true, the blockchain is indeed close to being the fastest. SEI solves a very important trilemma with its technology, which immediately takes blockchain to another level. In addition, SEI is able to make a huge number of requests, which significantly speeds up the time of operations. It is quite difficult for me to give a score to any of the projects in this category. After all, both projects are L1s with low fees, high transaction speeds, and reliable technology under the hood. So both projects get 1 point each. And who would you give your point to? Share your opinion in the comments. And while you're writing, I'm moving on to the next category. Kaspa is a relatively new project that only has recently started to gain momentum. Almost every day, new partnerships, listings, and high-profile reasons for the token's boom appear. For example, we recently saw a new listing on Kraken Futures. Who knows, maybe soon there will be a listing on the spot. In my opinion, there will only be more such newsworthy events in the future. And news like a listing on Binance or Coinbase can simply blow up the entire crypto community. Haters will be shocked. However, if you evaluate the activity of the community, you can see how much it has dropped since my last videos about Kaspa. You can see that the coin's fan base has decreased significantly. And what can SEI do about it? First, you can immediately see that the SEI community is 3 times larger, even though the project is much younger than Kaspa. In addition to having more average static assets under post, SEI also has more fundamental collaborations. And this can be seen even if you look at the latest news. After all, the coin itself has long been added to the top exchanges and indexes. In addition, the SEI team is constantly improving the project and making more and more cool updates. And while I don't consider the Kaspa community to be much weaker or smaller, it is clearly losing out at the moment. And the project itself is a bit stagnant and doesn't provide the same cool big news that could really change the game for Kaspa. So the whole community is still waiting for the really big partnerships with Binance or Coinbase. I'm sure that when that happens, the whole community will show its strength again, but it hasn't happened yet. That's why I give the point to SEI in this category. Kaspa would have easily won here once, but unfortunately it lost its hype and unrealistic community support a long time ago. So the score is 2-1 in favor of SEI. And I suggest we move on to ecosystem and growth potential. Looking ahead, I can say that both tokens have quite a bit of growth potential. I see 2 to 3x growth potential in the worst case scenario. But let's take a closer look at the ecosystems to make a more accurate prediction. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any projects in Kaspa. That is, they do not have an ecosystem as such. There are only projects they have partnered with and have their coins listed there. The list of partners can be found on the website, but it's a shame that the ecosystem itself is not developing in any way, although Kaspa has been around for almost a year. So let's move on to the SEI because the situation here is as different as possible. Although the project is only 6 months old, SEI already has a lot of partnerships and a fairly developed ecosystem that covers the main areas of the current market. I would like to highlight the fact that GameFi and NFT are doing quite well. After all, these are the simplest and most understandable narratives in crypto that are often used by new users. In other words, these areas have the potential to increase the popularity of blockchain and native tokens. And this is actually happening a little bit. The NFT direction is developing, the GameFi direction is also developing, and recently, shitcoins based on the SEI blockchain have become a buzz. In this way, SEI reminds me a lot of Solana. Therefore, in this category, I want to give 1 point to SEI, and the overall score becomes 3-1 in favor of SEI. But I want to introduce an extra category, tokenomics, because it is a very important and integral part of any asset. You cannot ignore it because the future of the project depends on it. Kaspa's tokenomics look very attractive. The team does not hold any part of the supply. There is no private or public token sale, and almost 100% of the supply is in circulation. And this model looks really good. The situation with SEI, on the other hand, is worse. Many people may not like SEI's tokenization. Some even consider it similar to what Solana had, especially because of the private investment round, where a big part of it is taken by the team's tokens. And of course, there are a couple of reasons for that. Firstly, a fairly large percentage of the tokens are held by the team. 20% of the total supply can really have a big impact on the SEI price. Second, another 20% of the total supply is held by private sale participants. What does that mean for us? More than $5 billion in tokens are locked up and will gradually come to market. This will dilute the capitalization and reduce the value of a token, which will have a mathematically negative impact on the project in the long run. According to the token unlocking information, both the team and the private equity participants will gradually receive their funds. At the same time, they will receive it in very small amounts. Although I don't like tokenization, it seems to me that the token unlocks are very well planned. Although there is always the possibility that the team or investors will decide to sell a large amount of tokens at once and drive up the price or manipulate the price of the asset more thoughtfully. Therefore, Kaspa gets 1 point for tokenomics, so the score is 3-2 in favor of SEI. And now we come to the main question: who has the greater growth potential? To be honest, I no longer see such an unrealistic potential for Kaspa as I did before. In the medium term, I see growth to 30 to 40 cents and consolidation at that level. For this, Kaspa needs to really start developing its project and finally get listed on Binance and Coinbase, possibly enter into partnerships with payment systems, and so on. In the longer term, Kaspa could well reach 70 to 80 cents if it starts to develop its ecosystem and finally starts to attract more major partnerships. As for SEI, I see this coin as more fundamental and technological, so I think it has a lot more growth potential. It is likely that we will see growth in the 17 to 20s of Solana's current market cap. In that case, the price of SEI will be $15 to $17, so SEI will be the leader. But you should not forget the risks associated with the worst tokenomics. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the growth of coins and emerging trends. Thanks for watching your Coin Post.